All right. Thank you for tuning in to another episode rocking with you here on a Friday. I just noticed that all the videos I do, I'm sharing my screen and you guys can't really see what I'm looking at. So go ahead and make it bigger, make it gooder. All right, man. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their holidays. Weather's changing, football changes. I think that basketball, for example, especially when it comes to the playoffs, it's like two different sports. You have the regular season, then you have the finals. In the playoffs. Draymond Green said there's 82 game players and there's 16 game players. Talking about the playoffs and the regular seasons. And I think football changes, and then there's, like the nights of the summer, the football players of the summer and the fall, and there's football players of the winter. Case in point, snowed so much in Buffalo that they had to move the game to Detroit, thunder snow, which is kind of crazy because Buffalo, they just unveiled plans for the new stadium, and it's an outdoor stadium again. And I know Buffalo, they like to do their things. Oh, we're Buffalo, we like to play in the cold. But you have Josh Allen. You have one of the better passers in the league. Why would you want to inhibit him? There was that win game that they played in Buffalo versus the Patriots that they couldn't pass at all and they only could run the ball. And I know Buffalo fans are probably saying, "Oh, this is what we do here in Buffalo. We're tough, we're hard nosed, we're gritty." I think that's just stupid. That's why you guys haven't won anything. So you would be best to get yourself a dome, especially when you have this supernova of a quarterback on your team. But y'all probably going to do something stupid. So whatever. Uh, so whatever. We'll see what ends up happening with them. Shout out to my man Michael Walker Jr. He got more teams than Drake. He just got patches of every team. And so every Sunday he has a winner, but whatever. Um, what's going on in the league? Big win for the Titans. Vrabel, he's just the best coach, the best young coach that's come into the league in a long time. He just finds a way to win. Jeff Van Gundy has this saying where he says, a lot of guys want to win, but they want to win their way, and they're not willing to buy in. And I agree with that. But the part that he's leaving out is that coaches are the same way. And there's a lot of coaches who just want to run their scheme. And if you can't run their scheme, you're just a bad player. And get them out. Get guys that can run my scheme. And I think Vrabel, his whole thing is, I'm not trying to run a scheme. I'm not trying to look the smartest. I'm not trying to, impress people. I'm just trying to win the game because that's my job. I'm getting hello. You play to win the game, and that's what he did the other day. So the OC, I guess, got drunk, and then because he got drunk, the Commanders had to punish players for drinking on the plane. What you see right here, stupid. Doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. One of the biggest stories of the season is the Rams. I think just the clock has struck midnight. They've pushed their chips in for my people that play poker. They've been pushing their chips in, and eventually they ran into a better hand. So, you got your Super Bowl. I guess it's quote unquote worth it. But going forward, I just don't see a path for viability for them. They don't have any picks. There's been rumors that Matt Stafford might retire after this season. So it's just they got to definitely have an uphill climb with their team. They lack talent in a lot of key positions. Their offensive line is a mess. Their receiving core is a semi mess. Their defensive line, besides Aaron Donald's a mess. Aaron Donald's already intimated that he might retire. So, I mean, I think all in all, the Rams are in a really bad spot, really bad spot. There's rumors again, Stafford will retire, and the way that he's been beat up throughout his career, the money that he's made. Remember, he's one of the last quarterbacks that got before for the young kids in the NFL draft, especially for the first round pick. If you were the number 7 pick and you were a safety, you automatically became the highest paid safety in the league, right? So that was what it was before. And then they did a rookie scale, which the players union accepted because the players were like, why is a rookie who's never done nothing the highest paid player or one of the highest paid players in the league at his position? So that started, I believe, 2 years before or after Matt Stafford's draft. So he got paid. He double dipped. He got paid coming in, and then he got paid on Detroit, and he got paid again this year. So like money, I'm sure he has enough money. I'm gonna count another man's pockets, but the life that I've seen of him in pictures and stuff like that, he doesn't seem like a guy that's spending money recklessly, but you never know. So I wouldn't be surprised if he retires. So the Rams are one of those things where you might look up and like, damn, homie, like they out of whack. Um, let's see here. Let's go to Pro Football Talk because I feel like I'm missing something. The ESPN ain't giving me. Let's go to Pro Football Talk. Because ESPN, I feel like I'm missing some football stories. All right, let's see. Significant discipline for violation of league's alcohol policy. The fuck does that even mean? What the hell, excuse me, does that even mean? YouTube has gotten really strict on the cursing. Like you can't even advertise if they catch you cursing on your thing. So I think they're just trying to be ubiquitous and be a real platform like network television. So that's another story for another day. Check out my other webpage. I'm gonna link to it. My other page that I just started. I'm gonna do a video about what's going on with Twitter because I think that's kind of related with Elon Musk. But check that out. It looks like the House's investigation into the Commanders is going to stop now the Republicans are in. And I don't talk politics on this, but I was thinking when they were asking him to come in testify, and my man was on a boat in Italy and was like, "Yeah, man, we can't get in contact." What was his end game there? And his end game was like, "Man, I'm just gonna wait them out." As soon as the people I've been giving money to get in power, they're gonna drop all this. So I'm just gonna wait them out. So I feel that. Let's see. ESPN that done man, they done you, and then they tell you they give you some stupid headline like why is USA on the inside track to make it to the field of 16 in soccer. You know what, I'm gonna talk about that here in a second at the end. But they're wasting they done like that's supposed to be for some serious stuff. Like you don't just give me some nonsense article on the done. Come on now, what's going on with this? Let's see here. Yeah, it don't really look like nothing's going on per se. I haven't done a lot of football stuff. I'm gonna try to do uh at least a conference every week going forward. But let's go to the NBA. Let's see what's going on in the national basketball season. Again, it's super early into the season. One of the biggest storylines is the Warriors struggling. They're beating up on the Knicks right now. They're up a dub on the Knicks. I think that Steve Kerr probably has the toughest job in NBA in recent NBA history because Jeff Van Gundy, again, to quote him again in this episode, he said the hardest thing to coach in the NBA is the aging superstar, right? Because he's done it at a high level, at the highest of levels. And when he doesn't have it, you can't tell him because he's done it before. And even the aging superstar, they have a game where they turn back the hands of time. So that reinforces them that they can still do it at that level. So he has to deal with that. Now with Steph, obviously Steph's playing the best he can, but Clay is still very aggressive. I think he's shooting 15 shots a game and hasn't scored more than 15 points in a game. That's awful. Not the defender that he used to be, which is obviously expected with having the ACL and the the Achilles surgery. That's like you know, uh that's a double whammy right there for sure, for sure. So you got that going on. You got Dre. It looks like he knocked the game out of Clay when Jordan Poole when he hit him. He knocked the taste out of his mouth and knocked the game out of his hands because he hasn't played as well as he's done. And obviously defense has always been a problem, but offensively, I mean, he's putting up numbers, but the impact just isn't there. And then he's coaching these young guys. You see him; he'll be coaching Wiseman, and he'll be telling them, "James, don't jump," like he's coaching like a little league team. And like Wiseman, he hasn't played that much basketball. When he was in high school, there was some eligibility issues, so he couldn't play then. When he got to college, um, there was again eligibility issues. He got hurt, so he only played like 3 or 4 games, and now he's in the league. Missed most of his first season due to injury, which spilled into the second season. So this is essentially, even if you compare him to the players that are coming out now, this is like his rookie year. This guy he's not played enough basketball, but they're going to need him to win the title. In just my personal opinion, the idea that they're going to trade players. I mean, their players' salaries don't add up to much. And then are you going to take your L? Are you going to hold that? Are you going to hold that L on all those picks? Because the Warriors were the light years ahead franchise. Are you going to hold your L? I don't know. So you got all that brewing together, and I just think it's going to be a tough job. You got people in the malaise of a championship. You got stars aging. You got young guys like Kuminga and Wiseman and Moody that you have to bring along and make better players. And the rub is, hey, if I play them all the minutes right now, we're such a hole that we're going to be losing games. But to get where they need to go, the finals, you're not going to get where you need to go without these players playing big roles. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But I think this is probably one of the hardest coaching jobs in recent memory. Ben Simmons had a good night. He said he's getting there. We'll see. He plays the Sixers on Tuesday. That's going to be primetime television. We'll see if he holds up to the static. Again, 82 game players, 16 game players. Man, I'm rusty. I'm knocking off the rust. Whatever. You have a good regular season game versus Portland. Where are you going to be in May when you're down 2-1 on the road and it's going into the fourth quarter and you've missed your first 3 shots? What are you going to do? Okay. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's a pointless argument because I already know how this is going to play out. But I guess if everybody wants to wait and see, we'll wait and see. Kawhi, shout out to my man Michael Walker Jr. Again, this is the 4th team I've mentioned in 5 minutes that he has. But he's a Clippers fan. Looks like Kawhi came back. Looks like he lost a little bit of weight. There was this running theory that he gained a lot of weight in the offseason, and guys were saying that he was too bulky. He looked like he's noticeably slimmed down from when the last time I seen him. And if you have knee injuries, you have injuries to your joints, taking pressure off your body by taking weight off your body is always something that the doctors recommend. So there you go. But we'll see what ends up happening. The Clippers have kind of been, I said that this is one of the deepest teams in my memory, but they have an issue where they have too many guys. I think that's playing out in the fact that guys are only playing 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here, and they're not getting into their lather. A lot of players struggle coming off the bench. And you have this situation where guys are sitting, and you have Robert Covington, who's a very coveted player. I'm not that big of a fan, but you have a guy like Covington who's not even playing. He's getting DNP coaches' decisions. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. I think there's probably something brewing there, but we'll see what ends up happening. Let me see. There was something else that I felt like I'm missing. Cool. Doing this quick synopsis. No, it looks like it is. Maxey got hurt today. We'll see what ends up happening to that. Looks like he was in the front runner for the most improved player and possibly an all-star spot. So hopefully it's not something serious. Um, oh, last thing, the World Cup. So shout out to my guy Mech. Um, him and a couple of people are working on some World Cup content, but it's in Qatar, and then stories have come out about how Qatar has just been very aggressive with journalists taking cameras, telling people they can't take pictures of benign places, and uh, you know, I say that to say this, man. I the idea that it's even there just shows how corrupt people are. And like, I understand that they paid the most money through the back door. I get that. Hey, they offering bags. They spent $300 billion so far on World Cup, on building infrastructure, on building stadiums, on building roads. And the whole point is like, hey, we want to make this place a tourist destination, but they've been strict on journalists. They're not allowing alcohol sales. Their accommodations have been so bad that people are staying in like Saudi Arabia and they're staying in Dubai, the place that everybody goes to turn up and have a good time. So it looks like what they were trying to do, it actually backfired on them, because people are coming to this tournament, but they're staying in other countries to have fun. And like they built 8 stadiums. After this World Cup is gone, what are you going to do with these 8 stadiums? 8 massive stadiums. What are you going to do with them? I just think it's crazy. It's just they're built. Qatar, majority of their money comes from natural resources. They're not an oil producer, they're a natural gas producer. They're built in like the country's on an ocean of natural gas. And again, they spent $300 billion. That's not a mistake. That's not a typo. What I'm saying, they have spent $300 billion so far on building 8 stadiums, on building roads, on building subway and transit infrastructure, and they're doing all this again for tourism. But they didn't build the hotels, so people are staying in other places, and they're not allowing people to drink alcohol at this thing. It just doesn't make sense at this point. Why did you do it? I mean, and I get the flex. I get the flex. But part of me thinks that there might be some other motivations to this, but that's a more political thing. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Um, I got some content coming this week. My man Michael Walker Jr. said he is not a fan of college football, but man, I'm loving college football. It's been a great college football season. Let's see what we have here. Prayers go out to the people in Virginia. That's tragic. That's tragic. It's obviously a different situation, but I had a teammate in college who killed someone, and when I played being the strong word. I was an ass back every time I got off the bench. I said, "Get your ass back to the bench." But uh, no, in all seriousness, this is just it's crazy. So yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. But to the games part of it, yeah, I think this is a great college football season. I don't know why they couldn't extend the playoffs now, and they said, "Oh, there's all these logistics with finals and blah 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 blah." You figured it out during the pandemic, and not to compare this to that, but it means if you need to get something done, you can get it done. So just get it done. Um, my prediction right now is, I mean, I think you have three locked in stone. Is just the fourth team. Is it going to be Tennessee? Is it going to be LSU? Is it going to be TCU? I think a lot of people are rooting for TCU to lose these year in their championship game or lose to Baylor, which is a really low spread, which is surprising me. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Um, but yeah, there's not really that great of a game, the marquee game. That being because SC took care of business, but UCLA and Oregon did not. So you have some really tough Pac-12 matchups that are coming up, but for pure playoff implications, there's only one team that can have a positive night, and that's USC, and everybody else, they're playing for the Rose Bowl or wherever the hell they have that game at. So, all right, we'll go ahead and leave it there. The game is a game. All right, thank you for watching this clip. Do me a favor, push the button, hit subscribe. Come on, man, push it.
Push the goddamn button! Push the goddamn button! You heard what she said.
And do what's right. You heard her. Push the button. The game is a game.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, you know? The game is a game. Always.